Hello students, good morning and welcome to the subject of Productions and Operations Management. We are dealing with unit number 3, Facility Layout, and this is the concluding part of the unit number 3, that is Facility Layout. We are dealing with part number 9. As you all know, we have studied different topics in this chapter related to facility layout, right? Layout is nothing but the arrangement. We'll just refresh it after a couple of minutes. Here we have studied all the topics from 1 to 10, as you can see it on the slide. There are topics from 11 to 16 that you can see it in the another slide. That means if you want to finish this topic or if you want to check out this whole unit, you need to study as many as 16 points. 16 different aspects related to facility layout are available, and in this 9 parts we have divided the whole 16 topics, right? In the previous lecture we have completed with the types of layout, and we have also seen the merits, how far the product and process layout gives the different types of advantages. In this unit, in this session we'll be completing with the 15th and 16th portion, that is service facility layout and marks of a good layout for the face-to-face services. Let us see it how it goes. Right, just let us refresh what is facility layout once again, and then we move ahead. Thus, plant layout is the appropriate arrangement of machineries, equipments and other industrial facilities. The main purpose of plant layout is to achieve fastest, smoothest production at the minimum cost. Thus, plant layout is what? It is nothing but the appropriate or proper arrangement of all the types of machineries, equipments and all the industrial facilities. These facilities we are going to check out right now. Right, in this session we'll be checking this industrial facilities. So these facilities which are required to produce something, when they are to be arranged in a proper manner, and when we try to arrange it in the proper manner, the purpose behind is the purpose, that means the main motive behind arranging or making the plant layout suitable is to have the fastest, to have the smoothest and the production at the minimum cost. Right, we have discussed the different types of layout in the previous session, and we will continue further. Different types of layout, I have been telling you since a few of the lectures that it's very important from the examination point of view also, and that's the core of the whole unit. Now what we are going to discuss is little bit away from the pure manufacturing section, how it is available or how it is different, that we will see it in the slides to come. Here we are going to check out with the service facility layout. This is 15th point and not the 14th, right? So consider it as a 15th point. It is service facility layout. Now what is service? Let me just define. Services is anything that is intangible, right? We can't see it, we can't touch it, but we can experience it, we can feel it, and moreover we can use it. When we try to use these facilities or when these services are available, it's only not tangible good that is important to us, it is the intangible services also that makes sense in the manufacturing, how it works, and as a service sector differently, how these layout affects. That is what we are going to see in this part or this session number 9. Right, so let us see it. The manufacturing unit, with whether flat area or vertical, it needs to provide for the service facilities related to manufacturing. That means whatever the type of factory it may be, the factory may be horizontally expanded, or the factory may be, or the manufacturing unit may be on the layers, that means on the vertical basis. Whatsoever the layout may be, whatsoever type of layout may be, services facilities related to manufacturing has to be provided. That means any other services other than machines and equipments, whatever you require, we'll see it in the other parts. Whatever we require, say restrooms, parking, canteen facility, say maintenance room, repair room, storehouse, these all are considered to be the facilities that are required to complete the manufacturing. If you just in your layout, if you do not have these facilities in the layout, then ultimately only with the machines or equipments put up in a proper sequence or put up in a kind of proper arrangement will not give you the results. In that sense, it is manufacturing plus services that has to be considered, and those services will be seeing it here. It is of as much importance as that of the layout of machineries and equipments. I told you જેટલું મશીનરી અને ઇક્વિપમેન્ટ ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ છે કોઈ પણ મેન્યુફેક્ચરિંગની અંદર, એટલું જ જે રિલેટેડ સર્વિસીસ છે they are also very important in manufacturing, because if these services, say suppose storehouse is not present, say if the maintenance room is not there, repair room is not there, powerhouse is not there, proper canteen facility or refreshment facilities or maybe washroom facilities, drinking room facilities are not available to the workers, do you think the manufacturing would be complete, or the manufacturing would not give you the perfect result? In that sense, when a manufacturer is trying to design his layout, he also has to see that it's not only machinery and equipment that is important or that is crucial. He needs to also consider the services related to it that should be placed at its proper place. Thus, the location of service facility layout should not be overlooked. There are two types of services in an organization, then can be, or in a factory or manufacturing unit, there can be two types of services. One is technical services and the other one is personal services. Now, how they differ from each other, we will see it with the examples. Suppose when we talk about say technical services, it includes all the services like stores, tools rooms, powerhouse, inspection room, material handling equipment room, receiving and dispatching department, etc. That means whatever technical help we need to manufacture the products, and how far we can take it in our layout, how far we can include it in the designing of the layout, that is to be taken care of. And what are personal services? Personal services includes, say, the facilities like toilets, washrooms, recreational rooms, changing rooms, entry exit passages, etc. In short, whatever it takes to provide services to the workers and to make the manufacturing easy should be considered and not neglected. That means in a factory, if you are planning everything, or if you are managing, and if you are having perfect kind of designing for your production house, that means equipments and machineries are very well designed and very well placed in a proper place, right? But ultimately the services which are helping this manufacturing to run smooth, they are not being laid out, or they are not being given the due importance, they are being neglected, then ultimately it will affect the programming, or it will affect the manufacturing of the unit. Say I gave you the example prior also, that if the manufacturing wants to go in a smooth way, then in that sense you should be having proper power supply. That power supply comes from powerhouse, right? There should be proper storerooms, that means where you can have the inventories being placed, extra inventories are lying in the storeroom, and that should be placed properly, or that should be there in the house, or that should be there in the factory layout. If the store is not there, imagine a house without a storeroom, imagine house without cupboards, then where you will be placing the things. Imagine say you may have a very decent and very luxurious bungalow, but it does not have the minimum requirement of washrooms, or maybe toilets, or maybe the changing room is not available. Then in that sense, their luxurious house will not give you the satisfaction. The same thing can be applied here also, that if there is a factory, if you are placing everything properly, that means if you are arranging machineries and equipments in a very nice manner, but ultimately you fail to provide the related services, which can be divided into two parts, that is technical services, or it may be personal services. The name itself tells you technical services are related to machines, equipments, materials that we are using, and how these services are to be used. And on the other hand, the personal services are kind of services or facilities or amenities required by the people, that means the labor, the employees, and these should be provided properly, or this should have its own place in the layout. See, ultimately what we can say at the end of the chapter, that is what is plant layout, then we can say it when everything is at its place, when everything is right at its place in an organization or in a factory or in a manufacturing house or in any service sector, when everything is at its right place, that area can be said as that is the function of plant layout. So, in short, whatever it takes to provide services to the workers and to make the manufacturing easy should be considered and not neglected, as I told you earlier also. That means what we are doing right now, we are doing the service facility layout. Services can be seen in two ways. What we are seeing right now is directly related services to manufacturing unit. Means in a manufacturing unit there can be two types of services which can be relative in nature and that should be present. One is technical services, the other one is personal services. Quite in detail we have seen both these types, right? So it in no case these type of services should be neglected in the manufacturing unit. All right, this means whatever it may be, from providing passages for the movement of the material from stores, or it may be enough space for the manpower to travel in between the machines. That means every care should be taken up, that whether it is from getting the say materials from storeroom to the production house, whether you are bringing it through passage, then that passage area should be provided, right? Or it may be say enough space should be provided to manpower also to move around the working place, or maybe to travel in between the machines. That means it should not be congested, it should not proper aisle space, or we call it passages or walkthroughs should be there, so that easily manpower can travel from one machine to another, or from one production stage to another. Also, enough walkway space should be provided to workers for their safety in the plant. See, many a times it may so happen that the machines which are being used, they are quite dangerous in nature. Say like it may be having the blades, it may be having the spikes, it may be a little bit of friction with it may cause a great injury to human body. Then in that sense proper walkways should be there, proper enough space should be there in the layout itself, in the chart itself, in the map itself, so that that portion is purely given for the safety of the workers. Then that also is the portion that we should consider under plant layout. Thus, the type of materials like dangerous liquids, gases, gaseous flammable items should also be placed safely. Many times we hear about the unfortunate accidents in the factory. Say you may have heard about the blast taking place of a gas filled cylinder, right? Or it may be just because of the split of the inflammable items, that means which may catch the fire very easily. If such things are not placed properly, if they are not given proper place and arrangement, then what may happen is it may cause fatal accidents, or it may be very very injurious. So all these things related to technical aspects to the personal aspects, everything should be taken care of. And where we can take care, in the plant layout, while designing the arrangement, we have to make sure that we make the arrangement, we give enough space for this stuff also. This is what is known as the service layout, especially in the say factories, right? If we go further, the areas of repairs, replacement, cleaning should be clearly placed in the layout so as to avoid any problems. You know that when machines work, it is fine, but when you need any kind of repairs, when you need kind of replacements of the worn out parts, or it may be the cleaning time, then at that time you should have enough place and enough facilities available in the factories itself, so that whatever it takes for repairs or replacement can be turned out or can be worked out very easily. Again, To reduce the idle time of workers and machines, the personal services should be well planned. It's very important that if a person is working on one machine, the other person or the other machine which is idle cannot be worked out. Then, but if your layout is placed properly, then at simultaneously he may be working at both the machines. That may be the case, right? That means the worker or the machines, or maybe any in that case any investment that you are making are not remaining idle. You are using the 100% capacity of the plant to its maximum, right? That is what is mentioned here, that nothing it should, the care should be taken, the layout should be so designed, at a time you can make the workers work, and there are no idle time, there is no idle time left out for the machines as well as people. Thus, whatever services are utilized, it should be a part of factory layout, or broadly we can call it plant layout, so that each function of the unit has enough space and availability whenever called upon. Thus, whatever the services are being utilized, this means whatever we are using as the services should be having proper place in the factory layout, or it may be in the plant layout, it should have the proper place, so that when it is to be functioned, or when you want the services, when you want to get the services, they should be easily available. And this is how the unit functions. That means when you are making the arrangement, when you are planning for plant layout, it should not only be that the machines and equipment that should be given proper importance, it is always that due importance should be given to the facilities also. What are the facilities as far as the factory or plant layout is concerned? It can be divided into two parts, that is the technical services, or it may be the personal services. Technical services is always related to technical side of the manufacturing, like having the stores, getting the powerhouse, having the repairing area, the dispatch area, and something like that, which is required for manufacturing. Whereas personal services are all those services which are required by the worker or employee to perform his best in the organization. Now, if it comes for the service, exclusively different consideration should be done. See, up till now, till the previous slide, what we did was services related to factory. Now we are talking completely in a different sector. For a different sector rather, it is service sector. Now in service sector, how the layout is important. In fact, in the service sector, what is service sector? First, let us get it clear. It may be say service sectors may be the banks, it may be the hospitals, it may be the hotels. These are the simplest example we can quote, right? Here, well arranged banks or service sectors is always very beneficial for the customers, or you can retain the customers very well, and that care should be taken, and that portion we are doing it here, right? There can be a fundamental difference that can be noticed between the manufacturing facility and service facility layout, is that many service facility exist to bring together the customers and services. That means many a times we have seen, or most of the time it is seen, that in the service sector itself there is a direct contact of the customers with the service renderers or service givers, right? It is the customers who are being served by the service givers. So it is at that time when you are facing each other, the services or the layout matters a lot. Service facility layout should provide thus for the easy entrance to these facilities from the freeways and busy or access roads. That means entry should be easy, exit should be easy. There should be freeways in between the people or maybe the department. You must, I give you the example, if you are entering any bank branch, right? The bank branch is one bank, say suppose in that case any bank you take up, the one bank is having its branch somewhere in a very congested area, and therein there is very less space, or maybe it is in a congested setup that the bank is located, then in that sense when you enter you feel that it is congested. Tables and say cabins are very near to each other, there is hardly any freeways, and this type of things we have noticed. So that ultimately matters, or that ultimately gives a kind of impression on the parts of client. That is why when you are planning for the service, the layout is to be given enough importance, that there should be enough easy entrances and there should be freeways available, so that the we can easily enter and exit the service area. Again, there should be large, well organized and sufficiently lighted parking areas and well designed walkways to and from parking area are some of the requirement of the service facility layout. See, sir, in services actually we are selling nothing which is tangible. Tangibly we are not selling anything. We can't show the services in the form of packets and then we can deal. At that time the layout, the ambience, the way the things have been arranged, these all things matter. So you should be having even the lighted parking area, the parking area or the walkways to and from parking should be quite comfortable, should be convenient. These makes sense to the customers. This gives a good impression on the customers for the services that they are there, because actually they are there to get the services which are intangible in nature, which cannot be seen, right, which cannot be touched. So what they are going to feel and see and get united with the services is the ambience, and at that time all these small points should be kept in mind, right? Okay, the broad objective of layout in retail services is generally to maximize net profit of the floor space. That means each floor space that we are using, each square feet that we are using in the service sector especially, it should give you the profit. Again, more humanistic aspects of the service must be considered. That means people, you are dealing directly with people. See, who manufactured the pen that is there in your hand right now does not matter to us. What matter to us is we can write with the pen or not. That means pen is the object, is the product which we can see, which we can use and which we can touch. But services are already intangible, it cannot be seen, it is only to be felt. And at that time each part of the floor that you are using should give you the net profit, or else it should have the humanistic aspect in it. Otherwise what happens is you will lose the customers, you will lose the clients. That is why a person named, an expert named Bittner, has coined term servicescape to refer to physical surroundings in which the service takes place and how this surrounding affects the customers and employees. That means Bittner is a name of a person, and he gives the idea about the surroundings, how physical surroundings affects the service place, and he, for that he has given three different aspects. Let us see it. What are they? The servicescape has three elements that must be considered. That means if suppose I am a service renderer, suppose if I am going to open a hotel, right, in that hotel what things I should keep in mind, because I am providing service, then three things should be kept in mind, and then my whole arrangement should be there. Number one is the ambient location or ambient conditions. Ambience is not a new word for you. Ambience is surroundings, right? If you enter, why I have quoted the example of hotel, or say in that case any multiplex, right? When you are entering the hotel, it should be, the ambience should be attractive, the ambience should be such which gives the kind of positive vibes. They should be it should not be noisy, the music is being played, the lighting effects are good, the temperature is being controlled, or maybe the whole area is being perfumed properly, there is a scenting effect. All these creates a kind of good image, or it creates a kind of good impression on the customers and clients. That is why Bittner has coined the first thing of servicescape. That means when we are arranging the service area, we have to keep the ambient conditions in mind, right? Next is the spatial, is written as SPATIAL, but we call it special, right? Special kind of layout functionality. Now what is this special about, all about? It is relating to occupying the space. Now the two important aspects are planning and circulatory part of the customers and grouping of the merchandise. See, many a times you must have observed while you are entering say the big bazaar, or maybe DMart, or maybe Reliance Mall, or any supermarket in that case, then the paths are arranged in such a manner, or merchandise, that means whatever the product is there to sell has been arranged and placed so very well that it attracts us. The ways are so well managed. Say everything is placed in a U shape, or maybe in the C shape, so that ultimately while traveling you can have a watch of all the items, you can see everything, nothing is skipped out, and that increases the purchasing motivation on the part of customers, and on the contrary it benefits the service renderer, or the owner of the shop, or maybe the supermarket, right? That means the goal of circulation path planning is to provide a path for the customers that exposes them to as much as merchandise as possible, while placing any needed services along with the path in the sequence they will be needed. That means they are so very well placed in the sequence, they are being placed in such a nice manner that each customer gets the look of all the merchandise, each one gets, nothing is being skipped out. What happens because of that? Even if you don't need few things, out of attraction, or maybe out of because you can see things very well there, we are tempted to buy things, then that matters a lot. That means three things what Bittner has coined. Out of that, one is the ambient condition, means the surroundings. Second is the occupying space, how you occupy the whole space, that everything depends on designing, right? If you enter the supermarket and it is congested, everything is so messily arranged, then you won't like to come there again and again, or you would like to avoid the area. Then in that case it gives a longer term effect to the service renderer. That is why the space that is being occupied should be properly used. So each area is covered, at the same time each product is being under the sight of the customers, or maybe the potential customers, right? The third one that comes up is, it's a common practice now to base the merchandise or grouping in the shopper's view of the related items as opposed to physical characteristic of the product or shelf space and service requirement. For example, as it is seen in the boutiques, in the departmental stores or gourmet, that means foodie sections of the in the supermarket. If you have ever visited, of course you all have visited the mega markets, or maybe the supermarkets, or maybe any mega malls, you must have noticed that everything is so very well placed, everything is so very well designed, is arranged in such a nice manner that you get automatically attracted because of it, of the space that is being utilized, or the way it has been displayed, right? Things displayed on the shelves, how the departmental store use the shelves area. Moreover, if you have visited the boutiques, then the best pieces are placed before the eyesight of the customers or clients. What happens because of that? It tempts them to buy more product. The third one in the series that comes up is the sign, symbols and art effects or artifacts. That means whatever the signs you use, whatever the symbols you may use, say you get to see the arrows, you get to see the staircase, you get to see the elevators in the form of pictures, the signs are being used, right? Even at the washroom, to bifurcate the gents and the ladies washroom, the diagrams are being used. Now these all make sense. This is also a part of service layout for basically for the service sector. This refers to the part of the services that have social significance. As with ambience, these are often the characteristics of the design of the building, although the orientation, location and the size of many objects and areas can carry special meaning. Many a times we get to think so many things at a time. If you have ever visited the Mumbai International Airport, right? Then you must have seen the terminals. There are so many terminals, and at that time so many signboards are being used. So with those signboards we get to know, even if we have the language problem, we get to know where is which type of service is available, and that gives almost a very good impact on the part of customers or maybe the travelers. Same way, if the signs and symbols makes the part of service layout, it has to be used, so that ultimately the clients come to know which services are available where. So this is the best thing that can be done in the service layout. See, Bittner is a name of a person, and he gave 3 hints that you can work out on your ambience, that means how you want to get your surroundings in the most attractive manner. The second one was the spatial layout, that means whatever the land or floor that we are using. And the third one is everything related to the signs or symbols that may be used to create a kind of spatial effect, right? And understanding to the customers also. So that's the end of the say service layout, as far as how the service layout should be there. I repeat one more time, when we talk about the service layout, we can say that the service layout can be divided or can be of 2 types. That means within the factory it can be of 2 types. It may be the technical services that are required should be provided properly. The personal services can be provided properly. On the other hand, if we are talking about purely service sectors, then according to Bittner, 3 things should be kept in mind. Number 1 is how the ambience should be, that makes sense of the to the layout. Number 2 is how the special occupants of the land is there, or spaces, how you are using the space. The third one is about the signs and symbols that we may be using. Now when you combine all these 3 and then you design your layout, it gives the best result. That means everything can be done efficiently, the workout can be done very easily. At the same time, you may have more number of customers and maybe the clients visiting your service layout, right? We are moving towards the last part, that is the marks of good layout for face-to-face services. That means when the services are dealt face to face, say like bankings, when you are talking to your the cashier, or when you are talking at the reception counter, or when you are talking to a manager, that means they all are considered to be face to face kind of services providers. When you are doing that, then at that time, what are the good marks, what are those good things that makes the sense? Number 1, easily understood service flow pattern. That means how you have to go from one service, one area to the another, to the third one, to the second one, fourth one, fifth one, and likewise. That means it should be easily shown. Services flow should be clear enough. This point should be kept in mind. Next, adequate waiting facilities should be there. That means there should be easy lounge spaces, very comfortable lounges should be there. Lounges is nothing, lounges we call it lounges also. That is the area where you can sit and relax. So if you, many a times you may have seen in the hotels that until and unless you don't get your chance for your say dinner or multi cuisine restaurants you are entering, then till that time you can enjoy yourselves, you can relax in the area which is known as lounge, right? So in these lounges, what we get to see, we can get to sit there, we can wait very easily, and we can feel ourselves comfortable. So that's also a sign of good layout. Next, easy communication with the customers. This is especially when there is language barrier. See, few people are not good with the proper language, then at that time there should be a proper easy communication medium between both of them. Next comes up is easily maintained customer surveillance. Surveillance means observation. There should be cameras being placed, there should be total or it can be human inspection also on the part of service provider, so that the customers feel safe also, and they feel protected also, and somewhere if the wrong misdeeds are to be conducted, we can keep control also. The fifth one is clear exit and entry points should be mentioned. If this is here, we can give the best example of the theaters. When you are entering the multiplexes or when you are entering the theater hall, then you must have seen the exit is at one end, the end and the entry is at the other end. That means there should not be any congestion. There should be easy inflow and outflow of the people, and that is what that means in exit, entry and exit of the people or the clients in such kind of facilities. So that also should be kept in mind. Mind you, they are all suggestions, they are all the marks that helps to have the good layout. This is especially for the services, right? Sixth one is department and processes arranged so that customers see only what you want them to show. That means whatever you want them to see, or whatever you want to sell it off, you have to keep it before, or you have to keep it in such a manner that customers are easily attracted and they can buy the product quickly. Again, there has to be balance between waiting areas and services area. I don't know whether you have noticed any time or not, few hotels or in the few restaurants, the waiting areas are far more better than the service areas. That means actually you are there for the food, and if you don't get to eat the hygienic food, and the lounge is very good, the waiting area is very good, but the services that you have been there is not good, then that should not be there. A balance or the striking of the balance should be created. The next one comes up is minimum walking and material movement should be there. Too much of ins and outs should not be there. Material movement should be least so that you have enough space to work out. Number 9 is lack of disorders. Disorders and mess should be avoided, right? Any kind of messy thing should not be there, any kind of disorder should not be there. If things are simple and clear, it makes sense to the customers. The 10th and the last one is high sales volume per square foot of the facility. That means whatever space you are utilizing for providing the services, that should give you the best returns, right? So here we have seen all those 10 points, which tells us that if we follow these principles, or if we get to see these marks, obviously the services are going to be the best at that time, or we can say the layout of that service department is good. So here we are ending up with the part number 9, and also unit number 3 is over here, that is facility layout. What is important in this unit are the types of layout, and again whatever the different aspects are, there are as many 16 aspects as I told you in the earlier initial part of the lecture. Those should be gone through properly, so that at the end of ninth video lecture we should be clear about what is facility layout and how it works, right? This is the end of as I told you, part 9. The chapter also gets end up here, and when we meet next, we shall start with the new fresh unit. By the time, take care of yourselves, and goodbye from my side. Thank you.